I'd like to call the Town of Clinton Planning Board virtual meeting to order at 7:32 on June 15th, 2021. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and pursuant to Executive Order 202.1 issued on March 12, 2020, suspending the open meetings law and emergency state and federal bans on large meetings or gatherings. The Town of Clinton Planning Board, scheduled for June 15th, 2021, will be held electronically via Zoom instead of the public meeting open for the public to attend in person. Members of the public may view the board meeting as it is live streamed on YouTube at www.townofclinton.com/government/planning-board-videos-. The first item on the agenda is let's see if I'm pronouncing this correctly, Freister.
Is it, sir?
What's the pronunciation?
Norbert, you're muted. You need to unmute. Let's see. There we go.
I was never first for anything in my life. Yes?
Hi, how you doing?
You're only on part of my screen. I got only half of you.
Well, that's the best half, so.
Is that as good as as good as it gets?
Yeah, right now it is, okay.
I hope you got all of me.
Yes, we do. Yes,
I
we
must be
do.
more worth watching than you are.
Okay, and you are?
Norbert Freisitzer.
Okay, this is a two-step process. Tonight, you're in front of the planning board, and we will take a look at your application.
Okay.
And then we will give a recommendation to the Zoning Board of Appeals, who will make the final decision. Our recommendation will be a yay, a nay, or neutral. So if you can briefly explain to us what you're doing, and then we'll go from there.
I'd like to build I guess you call it a garage. I investigated the move-in shed. It's 12 by 24. It could house one of my cars. And it's located in the woods by my house. It's actually not visible from any other residence. And let's see, I'm about 350 feet from the road. I'm probably about a half mile from the adjacent property toward the back. And I'm, I guess, a little over, well, about let's say 100 feet, maybe a little shy of that from the right of way going into the back. That all used to be my property at one time, but I gave the right of way section to my sister since I thought she was going to be moving in, but that didn't happen. Now I got some other neighbors, but also very nice. And well, I got a half a mile to the south before I get any adjacent property that way. And that's about it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sell cars there or anything else like that. Well, then my wife liked to sell my car, but it ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Jack?
Yeah, thanks very much for that. It's very helpful.
Well, thank you.
Couple of questions. You said it's 12 by 24, the shed / garage, is that right?
Yeah, let me look at the map. Yes, it is. I just checked the drawing.
Okay, because the zoning officer had it down as a 24 by 36, which is much larger.
I don't know how that happened, but
All right. Well, you know,
maybe that was my hope. My wife changed it to 12 by 20.
okay. Well, we'll deal with it as a 12 by 24.
Yes, sir. That's correct. That's correct. I don't know where the 20. Oh, you know what? That's not mine. That's a sales pitch from from Brad's barn. If you look a little higher up, that's the actual building,
Yeah, I
12
see.
by 24.
I see 12, no, I was looking at the letter from the zoning officer.
I know, because I was looking at that. Oh, the letter? No, but
Yeah.
they were looking at the portion of the application. And I don't know why they do that. And I gotta tell them about it, because they have a 24 by 36 building, but that's not mine.
Okay.
And they also show a different roof that's not mine. But if you look a little higher up,
Yeah,
it says frame garage, size 12 by 24.
got it, A-frame garage.
Yeah,
Okay, next, I came over and looked at the property, very nice. There is kind of a large tent in the same general area where you
uh-huh.
to put the new garage. What, can you
Isn't
explain
that,
that to us?
isn't that pathetic looking? That's my present garage for my car.
So is that going to come down if you get?
Absolutely.
Oh,
That's gone.
okay. So we can give an approval subject to the removal of that tent from the property.
Guaranteed, sir.
That's fine. Otherwise, this one looked kind of straightforward to me. Oh, I'm sorry. How tall is this new garage? Do you know?
I think, wait a minute a second. I think the roof was 4 feet, and I think the interior was either 7 by 8. I don't see it in the drawing.
I only asked because it said it was an A-frame, and our rule is you can't put up an accessory structure that's more than 25 feet tall. So I just want to be.
No, it's definitely, it says 24, but forget the 24. That shows the building that they're trying to sell, but not to me. Because my building is 12 by 24, and above the rafters or the joists above the garage, that's another, I think 4 feet to the peak.
Okay.
And the
So-
inside, if you look at the garage door is 9 feet wide by 7 feet.
Okay. So we're fine. Otherwise, I don't have any problem with this one. I don't know if it's going to be visible from Browning Road or not, but it is set well back.
I doubt it.
Yeah, you could be right. But even if it is, it's well back, and I don't think it's going to.
If anything, it's behind a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah. So I don't have any problem with this. I have a resolution unless other folks have questions.
I just have a quick question on it. The letter from the zoning administrator says it will make a fourth accessory structure.
Thank you.
Is that correct?
I'm sorry, I missed that. I had some advice coming from I don't want to say peanut gallery, but
It says that this will be the fourth accessory structure.
yes, I have 2 other pole barns, and I have a pool, and I guess that counts. The lady in the office told me the pool counts, and it's on your drawing.
Right. So it's a shed, the pool, and the new building. Where's?
And another shed. There are 2 sheds.
Oh, okay, I see it. All right.
Yeah, the 2 sheds, one is sort of tucked down, and you don't count my generator shed, do you? That's 5 by,
That's part of the pool, I think.
I'm sorry?
That's part of the pool, I think. That
No,
counts as part of the pool.
no, oh, you count that as part of the pool?
I assumed the generator was for the shed, but I don't think we count that as, do we
No,
count?
that's for the house. I don't see it on the
No, you do
drawing.
not count the generator.
You do have to count the generator?
No, no.
I didn't think so.
small.
No, I didn't think so. Okay.
Oh, I have one other question. What is the frost line? Do I have to do a frost line here?
The what?
Frost line. How deep do I have to dig it?
Oh, the building inspector will go through that with you.
Oh, okay.
There's according to the building code.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Jack.
All right. Whereas One, applicant Norbert Freiser seeks our recommendation to the zoning board of appeals with regard to his request for an area variance to allow an additional structure on his 7.7 acre property at 48 Browning Road in the town of Clinton, long number. Applicant also owns the adjoining property, another number, for a total of 10 acres in this AR5A zone.
Right.
Applicant proposes to construct a 12 by 24 garage/shed on the property, which already contains the maximum 3 accessory structures permitted by section 250-22. The existing buildings are 2 sheds and a pool. There is also an existing tent at the location, which applicant states will be removed if permission is granted for the new building. The proposed site is well back from Browning Road and meets the setback requirements. Applicant states that the garage shed will not be visible from the neighbors, and while it is difficult to judge, this may be true since the site has numerous trees. Accordingly, the proposed barn will not produce an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. The desired benefit cannot be achieved by some other method unless one of the existing sheds is torn down, which will not solve applicant's desire for more storage space. The request is substantial because it adds another building. The issue is self-created. The variance will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. Now therefore be it resolved that the planning board makes a positive recommendation to the zoning board of appeal with respect to applicant's request for an area variance to add an additional structure to the property, subject to the removal of the tent from the property.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Art, aye.
Very aye.
Jack, aye.
Cat eye.
All aye.
Okay, opposed? No. So moved. Okay. Sir, you're all set. Arlene will give you a date to go to the zoning board of appeals with a positive recommendation from the planning board. So good luck.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies.
Okay, take care. All right, next item on the
Thank
agenda.
you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye now.
Next item on the agenda is the Simon variance. Is there anybody here for that?
Yes, Art, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, and you are
Artie Smith.
Smith, okay. Art, you want to tell us briefly what's going on here? And then you've heard the last thing where it's a 2-step process.
Yes.
We'll give you, we'll review the application, give you a positive, negative, neutral recommendation, and then you go to the zoning board of appeals, which will make the final decision on the variance. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So just briefly explain what's going on here, and then we'll move on.
Okay. So my clients, Doug and Diane. I'm sorry for my dog. Doug and Diane are looking to put in a pickleball court on the front, in front of their house, to the right side of their driveway. Yep, did you get that?
Yep.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
So, I mean, you can kind of see the drawing. It's going to be about 20, 25 feet off the property line. So that's what we needed the variance for. 30 feet to, fall within the parameters.
Okay. All right. Kat?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you, Artie. So this property is about 11 acres large. It's an AR5 district. I went to have a look at it. It's a really nice property. I guess a few questions for you. Why did you pick this particular location? And why is it situated in such way? You know, given the amount of space.
The back.
Yeah, what is the rationale behind the situation here? I mean, the position here.
So the back part of the property is very low. And to try and put a court in there just wasn't really feasible because of the, you know, how low it is comparison to where the house is and everything else.
Mhm.
And if we did actually get it back there, it was going to be very expensive for one. Two, it was going to have to be way away from the house, and they didn't want to have to be that far away from the court. And then the spot in the front we thought was good because it's kind of close to the house. It's away from everything. It's kind of, you know, down a little bit, and it really wasn't impeding anything. And it's a fairly level spot to be able to put the court in.
Okay. Yeah, and that kind of goes with my observation. I mean, it's a you know, the topography and the terrain are quite rugged in places, and some of the other places, you know, would require a lot of excavation and kind of rock if you wanted to put it there. So that makes sense to me personally. And the other question was, what is are you planning to put any lights? What's, you know, is there going to be any kind of nighttime play, or what is the kind of view of the court going to be?
Yes, there are lights that were going to be put on it too. Two lights that were going to be one on.
We can't hear you. You
Breaking
gotta
up.
say it again.
Artie, you dropping out?
No, I
Hear
was
me?
telling him to speak up because I cannot under, he's mumbling.
She can't hear me.
Fading out, yeah.
How's that? Is that a little better?
Yeah, go ahead, say something about the lighting.
Okay, so the lighting, there was going to be one light stanchion on the east side of the court and one on the west side. So east side would be house towards the house, and west side would be towards the roadside.
So none of them towards the south side neighbor, the line that's the closest to the.
Yes, none that way.
Okay.
And the lights are designed in a way that they're very tall, so they only have light basically pointing down. No light going out to the, you know, left or right of the lights.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, for the board members, I did look at the location. It is far removed from the road. The location is not visible from any surrounding properties. The way the terrain is structured, it actually kind of falls in a little bit of a flat kind of valley, so it's not visible from any of the, you know, surrounding areas. It is close to the house, so I think all the activity would be concentrated together. So the lights and anything would be kind of all in one spot. This will be the third accessory structure. So there's already a pool and a pool house. There's a garage. So this will be kind of, you'll be maxing out here with the accessory structures with this one.
Yes.
Sorry?
I said yes, and Doug and the clients, they realize that.
Yeah. But you know, I don't see any issues at this point. I don't know if there was any conversations with the neighbors, if there was any feedback. I know in the past, this property used to be an Airbnb, and sounds like maybe there were some concerns historically from the neighboring properties, but seems like that will no longer be the case, and this will not be an Airbnb. At least that's what the owner is saying. So
Correct, yeah.
I don't know if there's any other questions from other.
Yeah, I have just one thing, Art, when you go to see the zoning board, give them a little bit more detail on the lighting. Have something
Okay.
written up, because they're gonna ask you exactly
Okay.
what we did. So if you have that ready, it'll save you some time,
Okay,
okay?
We're, I-
Kat?
I live in the general area and everybody always thought of this house as an Airbnb. So if it's not going to be used as one going forward, maybe it's worth referencing that in the resolution so that we don't get hung up about waiting, should they apply for a permit or not?
Okay. Yeah, and that's what the owner represented to me personally a few times, that, you know, he's aware of the history of the house, Jack, and that that's not gonna be longer the case, so,
Good, good.
but yeah, Huh?
Are we saying he would never be allowed to apply for Airbnb?
No, we're not saying that at all.
No.
But if it was being currently used as an Airbnb, I would have an issue with doing anything unless he's submitted an application. If he's not going to be using it now, he doesn't have to submit an application. If he changes his mind, then, you know, sufficient to the days evil thereof, and we can deal with it then.
and as far as I know, it's not going to be used as an Airbnb probably ever again. Because they bought the place as kind of like a family house to come to, you know, often. They're up here all the time now, so.
Good.
Okay, good. Okay, Kat?
great. But
Sorry,
my-
I had a question. What's the difference between a pickleball court and a tennis court? Are they different sizes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so pickleball court is, I won't say half the size of a tennis ball court, but it's a tennis court would be 60 by 120. Pickleball is, I think, I have this one at 60 by 90, but he wants a little basketball court there too. Pickleball is about 58 by 68, I think it is, something like that. It's a little smaller.
And just to confirm, there's nothing in our town code like a pool that says you can't be in front of the house. There's nothing like that for accessory structures like a tennis court or a pickleball court.
There's just that confusing thing about it can't be in front of that principal
Accessory
house
structure.
or in the setback, whichever is less restrictive.
Right. So as long as it's more than 100 feet back, it could be in front.
But you're right, Justin, you're thinking of the pool thing that
Yeah,
specifically
swimming
said.
pool is different.
And you'd think of the tennis court would be the same thing, but it doesn't look like, I didn't see anything like that.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't-
the court isn't technically in front. It would be to the east side of the
Maybe,
house,
yeah.
or west side of the house, I'm sorry.
Well, it's between the road, and the house.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
So
another
it-
thing.
so
Kat,
is that
one
house, like,
second. The denial letter from Fenton states that it's a tennis court and it's got a 60 by 90. So that should be straightened out before you go to the zoning board. It should say pickleball court, what is it, 58 by 68, you said, Art?
Yeah, but what we're putting in is 60 by 90.
by 90?
We wanted a little
Okay,
bit
okay,
bigger.
so that's correct, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a tennis court, right?
It's a form of tennis, but it's called pickleball.
Yeah, it's smaller,
Smaller, yeah.
yeah, okay.
I've never heard of that. I'm glad somebody asked about it. I didn't know what that was.
I don't have a clue about it. Can you spell
I
that?
felt really stupid. I was like, don't ask because they all know, but
Hey, Artie,
I don't know
can
when
you spell that?
It's a
Pickleball court.
California and Florida thing. Don't
okay.
fault
Hang around
yourself.
senior
Yeah.
communities.
There's both words I used, one of the applications says pickleball and the other one says tennis, so we'll just, but it doesn't prevent us from putting in the resolution, does it?
No.
Okay. I'm calling it a tennis court in here. I can call it a pickleball court. Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead
Why do
and,
we call it tennis court? Because the other one is not in the language of our zoning.
but we're gonna use the right dimensions of 60 by 90. So that's the one that's going to limit
And
the, si-
tennis court is addressed in our zoning, so I think you should just use the tennis court.
okay.
Okay, and honestly, it's more of the way it's lined out and stuff, so whichever way you want to put it, tennis, pickleball, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I think what matters is the dimensions, right? The 60 by 90.
Correct.
Okay. Art, can I go ahead and read the resolution?
Yes, please.
Be it resolved that the Town of Clinton Planning Board is making a positive recommendation to the Zoning Board of Appeals with respect to the variance by Diane Simon from the Town of Clinton Zoning Law District Schedule of Area and Bulk Regulations for a side yard setback reduction to approximately 20 feet from the required 50 feet on a 10.85 acre site located at 84 Deal Ridge Drive, tax grid 636800291160, which is located in the AR5 district in the Town of Clinton. Whereas the applicants request an area variance to allow the construction of a 60 by 90 tennis court within the required 50-foot side yard setback set forth in the district schedule of area and bulk regulation of Clinton zoning law, reducing the side yard setback from 50 feet to approximately 20 feet. There are no known outstanding zoning violations on a property per the zoning enforcement officer. The property is not in a critical environmental area. The property is located in a ridgeline scenic and historic protection overlay. An area variance is a type 2 action under seeker and requires no further action. Wait, that was my thing here. The planning board has determined that the proposed variance will not have an adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions of the neighborhood. I'll put something in here for the residents. The residence will be used as a primary residence and not a rental property at this time. The benefits sought by the applicants could be achieved by another method, but in making its recommendation, the planning board has considered the applicant's comments, a site review, and the following facts. The topography and terrain of the site would require significantly more tree clearing and excavation for any other placement choice. The distance from the road and other residences is substantial, and the natural shape and drop in elevation creates a natural buffer that mitigates sight of the area. Proximity to the main residence and pre-existing outdoor entertainment areas will concentrate the lights and sounds in one part of the property, keeping the rest free and clear of lights and sounds. The lighting system design the lighting will keep lights away from the neighboring properties. The requested variance is substantial. The alleged difficulty is self-created. The application fee has been paid, Arlene?
Yeah, yes. Well, they're gonna have fees for the ZBA, so, but the ZBA will do the condition.
So now therefore be resolved, the Town of Clinton Planning Board is making a positive recommendation to the Zoning Board of Appeals with respect to the applicant's request for the reference area variance.
We have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Okay. All those in favor, Art, aye.
Jack, aye.
Very aye.
Cat eye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, Art, Arlene will give you a date for the zoning board of appeals. And you'll go from there, okay?
Thank you.
So you're all set here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you take care.
Yep, have a good night.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing for Long Pond Holdings LLC for a non-hosted Airbnb. Do we have anybody in the room? For that
Yes.
application?
Yes,
Okay.
Tom Levy, yes.
How you
Uh,
doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, Tom, good. Okay, do we have a motion to open a public hearing?
No move.
Okay, We need, okay, so moved, discussion on that,
Second,
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Art,
Aye.
aye.
And I,
Okay, so moved. Okay, is there anybody, Fred, is there anybody in our audience who is,
There's no one, no one in the waiting room.
excuse me?
No one in the waiting room.
No one in the waiting room. Okay.
Hold on. I have an email. Can I read it? I'm sorry. It just came on 6:30. All right, I'm gonna read the email.
Go ahead.
It says from Bill and Marcia Michaels from Illinois. They live across 199 Long Pond. They want to know, is there a limitation on the number of the occupants of the property? Is there a noise ordinance that limits the volume created by the occupants? What, if any, signage at the property is proposed? What, if any, signage at the property is proposed? All right, that's all the questions.
Okay, that's it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, which you know, the answers about the occupants, you're gonna determine that.
We'll determine
Noise,
that.
you're gonna address that. And the third one is the signage. So 3 things.
Will
Which
there
is
be
not
any,
allowed.
you can,
will there be any signage on the property?
no,
it's not allowed.
it's not
No.
allowed.
No, I mean, just the sign says 199.
Okay,
That's the only sign that's there. Little welcome mat maybe, but you know, that's about it.
okay, that's 2 answers. And the third is,
Noise.
there is no, as I know it, there is no noise ordinance in the town. Is anybody
There is.
aware of it?
Yeah,
There
There
is
is.
they're general standards, yeah.
Yes.
general standard, okay,
The hours.
And they have to comply. This place has to comply with them, so.
okay. All right, so Arlene, would you just briefly draft a letter to them with those 3 answers?
I'll just respond to the email.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
Don't move.
So move, discussion. All in favor? Art, aye.
All right, all right.
And I,
Okay, so moved. Okay, next item on the agenda is the application for the Long Pond Holdings LLC non-hosted Airbnb. Okay, so we've gone through this before, but if you just briefly explain what you're doing, and then we'll move on from there, okay?
Sure. So our intention is to rent or Airbnb the space, maybe 3 to 4 weekends or so in the spring and 4 weekends in the fall for short-term rentals, to allow us, you know, to sort of be able to use the house in the future and just keep up expenses for now, and with the ultimate goal of moving into the house full time later on in life.
Okay. Okay, Kat?
yeah, so, I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about this last time, and thank you, Tom, for turning around this, the drawing, removing some of the things, the structure no longer there. I think really what we have to do is just determine what's going to be the occupancy. And, if you look at the drawing here, Arlene, if you just make it a little bit bigger, I think that the house is in the zone C, and it has about, is it 1,000 feet of lakefront? And you can see the wetland line, what kind of, up there. We had some discussion last time around what is the current certificate of occupancy for the house and the septic capacity. We know it's 1,000 gallon tank. But it has that seepage pit that sits literally like right on 100 feet from the wetland mark. On this kind of a steep runoff down towards the lake. It's been functioning fine. You know, it passed the inspection. But the inspection was for 2-bedroom house with 3 occupants, right? So I think, you know, I think we just need to stick to the historical occupancy level and, you know, make it a 2-bedroom. I would propose 2-bedroom for occupant house. So we don't stress the system too much. And, you know, if it, you know, you'll come back again in a year, you know, we can see what it is. But again, it's, you know, older septic tank, seepage pit right next to the lake. So I think again with the historical level of occupancy makes sense. I mean, I'm open to a discussion from the board. The house is only about 1,200 square feet, less than 1,200 square feet. So
Okay, does anybody have any comments on this?
I mean, I have a comment, which is, I believe, and I can't find the section right now, but I believe even if it was a 2-bedroom, your rules would allow for 5 people. Right, if you know, I believe the way you wrote it was 2-bedroom would be 5 people. I have to.
I think the rules say that the board has discretion to determine how many occupants we
I
think are.
see, okay.
Yeah. You know, so again, it's, you know, 2-bedroom house. The septic report says three occupants. You know, I think for adults, you know, we can say, I mean, I would say maybe for adults, if there's a baby or something, you know, I mean, it's, you know, again, 2-bedroom for adult occupants in terms of, you know, renters.
Right. I don't really have a problem with it, you know, with the 4 occupants, because that's kind of what we're looking for anyway. But the septic was sized for a 3-bedroom, not for a 2-bedroom, based on the report. 1,000 gallons is a 3-bedroom size, right?
Yeah, the septic is.
Right.
There's all
Right.
the seepage, you know. The
Right. So
seepage
just
pit.
when you talk about, you know, just in terms of things being recorded, when you say the septic's being stressed, you know, it is sized as 1,000 gallon, which is the capacity for a 3-bedroom home, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, the septic report you provided to us says 2 bedrooms, 3 occupants. I'm open to, you know, discussion from the, you know.
Again, I don't have an issue with the 4 people to begin with. So if we want to make, I don't have an issue with that, because we're not looking to create a party house here anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay, do we have any comments, other comments from the board on this? Are we agreeing with Kat on this?
Yep.
Yep,
I
okay.
have a question. Is his name the one that's on the application? Or whose name is on the application?
My name and my wife's, right? My name and my wife's are both on the application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
The other question is, what is and, you know, I think this is a, you know, the visitor question, how many visitors in the daytime, you know, I find it a little, you know, I think personally, I would say, again, given that there is other parts of the code that determine the noise levels and, you know, going back to the other questions that were raised in the public hearing. And I think, you know, to the extent there's appropriate parking for people to have visitors during the day, I think visitors should be allowed. You know, I think we could address this through conditions and essentially say, if there's any large party gatherings, please let the owners know so they can notify the next door neighbors. I find,
Our listing had said before we took it down, no parties, by the way, just so you know.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, you know, you have July 4th party or a Memorial Day party. Or somebody
Well, that would be our party, but yes, okay. But,
Code limits
yeah, I
it to
guess.
The maximum is number.
four. If we set it at 4, the max is 4 more date.
Yeah, so the maximum will be 4
4.
under the law, yeah.
Okay. And, yeah, so do we need a condition on anything that would exceed that number or?
It's not allowed.
I think you're
It's not
allowed. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it very simple. Okay, so it's 4 and 4.
I don't know, Joe. 4 and 4.
Okay,
That's, okay.
okay, Kat, do you have,
Yep.
okay,
So whereas the town of Clinton Planning Board has received an application for a special use permit from Long Pond Holdings LLC for the purpose of utilizing a dwelling unit located in 199 Long Pond Road in the town of Clinton as a non-hosted short-term rental pursuant to section 256.9.1 of the zoning law. And whereas the subject property is identified as tax parcel number 646800178 and is located in the C zoning district. And whereas the applicants do not propose any alterations, excavation, or construction on the site in connection with the requested permit, and whereas the applicants have submitted an inspection report dated within 90 days of the date of the application, stating that the existing sewage disposal system serving the dwelling unit is adequately functioning for its intended use at the time of inspection, and whereas a short-term form EAF Part 1 has been received and reviewed, and whereas the planning board has determined that the proposed action will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment based on the criteria set forth in 6 NYCRR 617.7C and qualifies as a type 2 action under seeker reuse of residential or commercial structure. And whereas the planning board conducted a public hearing during its regular meeting on June 15th, 2021, and whereas the zoning administrator has inspected a dwelling and certified that is in compliance with the permitting requirements set forth in section 256.9.1 for use of the dwelling unit as a non-hosted short-term rental, and there are no known zoning violations on the property. And whereas the planning board referred the application to the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development pursuant to General Municipal Law, section 2.3, that I and M has received a response, they have no jurisdiction. And whereas the planning board has determined that a dwelling shall be used as maximum 2-bedroom unit and number of lodgers allowed shall be 4, and the maximum number of daytime visitors permitted on the property shall be 4. And whereas the dwelling unit will be subject to the following, I guess we can skip this, I have no conditional things here. Whereas after review of the application and all other submissions by the applicants, the planning board has determined that the application and dwelling unit are otherwise in compliance with the requirements of section 256.9.1. And whereas the special use permit shall remain in effect for 1 year from the date of approval by the planning board and shall require annual renewal by the planning board upon timely request by the property owner pursuant to the section 256.1D4, no later than the anniversary of such issuance. And whereas the applicant shall ensure that the dwelling unit complies with the requirements of section 250.69.1 at all times while it is being utilized as a non-hosted short-term rental, and shall otherwise comply with applicable town, county, and New York State law and regulations governing such use. And whereas all applicable fees have been paid, now therefore be it resolved that the planning board hereby grants approval of this requested special use permit effective as of the date of this resolution.
okay. We have a second,
Second.
discussion.
Kat, can you put on the fees as conditions, please? Because I have legal publication fees to collect.
Okay.
Okay, discussion? No, okay. All in favor, Art, aye?
Very nice.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, okay, you're all set?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So is there another step? I'm confused. No, that's it. Okay.
You're done.
I hear everybody going to another place, so I didn't know if we were as well. So,
No,
okay.
you're all set. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Have a good night.
bye-bye. Okay, next item, you can rest now, Kat, for a while, okay? The next item on the agenda is Bond Wetlands Permit. Do we have anybody here for that?
Hi there, I'm here. Nice to see you guys.
And you are?
Marco Bond.
Okay, Marco, can you explain what you're doing? And then we'll go from there.
Sure. And I mean, I'm assuming I need a DEC permit from having a DEC person come out and look at the property, but we were looking to put a pool near our house in a particular location that is not visible from the road. But it is fairly close to a wetland. So that's about all I know. I submitted a bunch of paperwork and we can look at those maps. This is my first time around, so forgive my ignorance, but that's kind of my understanding is that I need that wetlands permit before I could even talk to you. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, Justin, I'm sure you've got questions.
Yeah, so it looks like in the backyard now, there's some type of like a patio or something.
That's right. Yeah.
You talk about what's in the backyard now and
Right, yeah, we bought it with this kind of patio thing there, and that is exactly the location that we would like to put the pool. So according to the wetlands person, you know, it's been disturbed, and so she feels like the you know, that there's a rationale for building there because it's been a disturbed area. But it is, as you can tell from some of the topography, it's, you know, 55 feet to the wetland border according to the existing maps, but it might be even closer to the wetland border given her recent measuring of it. She put up flags. So, but yeah, there's some sort of like ceramic-y stone thing that they put there.
yeah, and it looks like you're going to use the topography of the hill so that it's not a truly in-ground pool because some of the side is going to be above ground. So that's probably minimizing some of the disturbance. Is that, I mean, how far down do they dig?
That's exactly right. And the reason why I don't have measurements of how far they're going to go down is because they don't know how far they need to go down, but we will, I guess, gauge that when they bring out a backhoe. Again, first time around, but I assume we can't go that deep.
You could see my screen, right?
Yes.
So here's the pool, and that's all wetlands towards the north.
Yeah, it wasn't clear to me exactly how close we are. If the house to fence is 70, are we around 90 or 100? He said 55. I don't know what the distance is. I don't know that it matters, right? Tonight we're just going to declare lead agency for SECRA and set a public hearing.
There's the option of not having the hearing if if we don't feel it's necessary.
Before we decide on that, the wetlands, what type of wetlands? Is that a DEC control wetlands there? Are they going to need a DEC?
It looks like both. I think there's both. It's really complicated back there.
Yeah, it's very complicated. There's both federal and thing. Hold on.
But Marco, you already applied for the DEC permit, right?
No, I had a woman come out who measured and then sent me an email of everything I need to do for the wetlands permit, which is a regurgitation of a lot of the stuff I've sent to you,
Okay.
but requires further, like I need to give exact measurement as to her flags. And then I need to apply for that. And then I think that there's some sort of 15-day waiting period while they review it. So I submitted all of this before knowing what the repercussions of having her come out would be. But which I'm trying to play by the rules here. And I mean, I don't want to disturb the wetlands, but I also would like to have a pool, so something in between.
But then there is a federal, it looks like the federal and the state wetlands kind of overlap each other.
She did not reference anything about federal in her latest email to me, but if that's the case, it sounds like another.
Can you see my screen?
The green
Yeah.
is green is federal.
The blue.
The
No.
green is federal, the blue is state. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and there's
You, on the form, Marco, on the forms that she sent you, there may be something on there for, there may be 3 different agencies that you may have to talk to, and one of them, I believe, is federal, and it may be the Army Corps of Engineers. I'm not sure. But check that, all the stuff that he gave you.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a DEC work permit on this.
Yeah, I was prepared for the DEC part. The federal is a new piece of information.
Yeah.
Sounds scary.
You overpaid for it.
I mean, you may have to measure because you're going to be closer to the state, and so you'll have to figure out whether you're 100 feet from the federal.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna, Justin, I think you're correct. We can just do so much tonight.
Set the hearing. We can send it out to the DEC, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the CAC. I don't know if you want the Town of Clinton engineer, right, in connection with the lead agency.
Did we ever do the public hearing before? I don't think we did public.
Not usually.
Like Paul said.
yeah,
On the wetlands?
Yeah.
not
We
usually.
did it on my last wetlands because that's what I copied a motion for, I think.
Which one is that?
BCDE.
We did the public hearing for that?
The law, it's not required. The board has the discretion, but I think normally we've not done it, but but if the board wants to do it, sure.
I guess that's separate from declaring lead agency, right? We'd still declare lead agency and talk about it ourselves in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and you're gonna get feedback from the CAC on this, which may,
Right.
influence us one way or another on whether you need a public hearing or not for this, because they will certainly have more research at their fingertips than we have.
Do you want to try it? Want to just do the lead agency tonight? And then if the feedback is crazy and we feel like we need a public hearing, then
Yeah,
we can do that 2 weeks from now. And if not, we'll just move forward.
I think that makes sense. Because Marco has a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, he's got some homework.
I know, he was hoping to put the pool soon.
We can't do it without the DC permit, so
Yeah, no, I recognize the DEC permit is
we're not going to be the ones holding it up.
Right. In her, she writes the permit number. I don't need to read that to you. It sounds like I just need to do a bunch of homework.
Did you, I know they came to flag the wetlands, right? Right? They came to
They
flag
did
the
that.
wetlands.
Yes, yeah.
So you
All
were
flagged.
able to measure from the edge of the pool to the thing, and it's less than 100 feet, right?
It's less than 100 feet, but it's a disturbed area, so that made her feel like, this was all, kind of doable.
It's doable. There's just steps.
Okay, so just, why don't we do that and move on?
Yep, I got a resolution of the planning board of the town of Clinton to declare lead agency in the Bond wetlands permit. Whereas Marco Bond has applied for a wetlands permit in order to construct an 800 square foot in-ground pool structure within 100 feet of a watercourse, lake, or pond. Whereas granting a wetland permit is an action to be reviewed under SECRA and its regulations found at 6 NYCRR Part 617. Whereas approval of the wetland permit is an unlisted action under SECRA. Now therefore be it resolved, the planning board hereby declares itself lead agency pursuant to SECRA for the uncoordinated environmental review of the Bond wetlands permit. And we'll give notice to the Clinton Conservation Advisory Committee, the New York Department of Environmental Conservation, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and the town of Clinton engineer.
Who?
Well,
Who's the last one?
we have to decide that he's a town engineer.
Town engineer.
The town engineer. So then that means, you mean
That
we're
would
gonna
be,
have-
that's an escrow.
I copied that off of my last resolution, so don't.
No, we don't have an escrow.
No, we're just asking, man.
Do we need that one?
I don't- I don't-
Yeah, do we
That's the
need the town
question.
engineer? I don't think we need the town engineer because it's the DEC who's gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe the feds, I mean, it's a,
Yeah.
I think so. DEC's involved. They're involved.
Who's the
Involved
second? Can we do the
agency.
second first?
What?
Do we have a second before we do the
Second.
discussion? Go ahead.
Okay, discussion?
DEC's involved and I learned recently that Army Corps technically is not a seeker agency.
Yeah, no wonder why they never respond. Seriously. I'm just like wasting the stamp sending it to them.
But
So-
I don't know. I don't know if it hurts to put it in there, but they're not in the seeker circulation world for reasons I don't completely understand, but that's what I read somewhere.
I'll
Okay.
put him as interested.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope I didn't waste your guys' time. I appreciate it. And,
No, that's all right.
Yeah, well, we still have to
Exactly
vote.
right.
We got to
Is that
start the
so?
process. So
Can I'm sorry, Art. Can I?
we've got a resolution on the floor, Arlene.
Yeah, no, I just want to know whether he strike the town engineer. You strike it out, right?
Yeah, we don't need the town engineer right now. The DEC is going to do the work. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of the motion?
aye.
Art, aye.
Pat, aye.
Jerry, I.
Okay. All right, so moved. Okay, Marco, you got a little bit of work to do and so do we. So get coordinated with the DEC and then we'll get you back here, okay?
thank you guys. Very much appreciated. Thanks,
Okay,
Arlene.
take
Thanks,
care.
Art. See you guys.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a Mahoney special permit for an accessory dwelling. Do we have anybody here for that?
Yes.
Okay, and you are?
Joe Melito from Crisp Architects.
Okay, Joe, would you explain briefly to us what you're doing?
Sure. The project will consist of the construction of a new guest cottage garage. The site is zoned AR5 with a total acreage of 25 acres. The new building is sited behind and to the side of the main house and into an existing hill. The habitable space, 1,290 square feet, is over the allowed 1,000 square feet maximum as dictated in the Town of Clinton zoning code 250-29, section B6. We are requesting an area variance for the 290 square feet that is over the allowed. The overall square footage is 3,195 square feet. A new septic system and well will be constructed on site to support the new building that has been approved by Board of Health. We are applying for a special permit, which is required to the Town of Clinton Planning Board for permission to build an accessory structure guest apartment. This request was granted previously in 2018, but construction was not able to begin before the variance expired.
Okay. Okay, Jack?
Yeah, Mr. Melita, did you say you have Board of Health approval?
Correct.
Okay. Good. So what we have to do now, it seems to me, is set it down for a hearing, and I think we appoint ourselves secra lead agency on these matters. Is that right? I never know how secra works.
Yeah, you did it before.
Okay.
Do we have to redo it? Do you have to do that again? I mean, remember that they have the special permit issued in 2017. They lost it. We're doing the process, as a matter of fact.
I'm happy not to bother with secra if we don't have to. I think we should have a public hearing. So I think we just set it down for that.
Okay, this was
Okay.
approved in 2018, correct?
Correct.
And then a permit expired.
Right, okay.
Correct.
So
Has anything changed on this?
The overall square footage of the building got slightly larger, but the habitable space did not.
What do you mean by slightly larger?
If you look at the plan on the screen at the bottom, you will see a large, small conditioned storage bump out to kind of balance out the building.
Just explain the variance that you were granted, like before, the habitable space was bigger. What was the variance that was given to you recently?
Was the same 290 square feet.
No, I thought it was,
Back in
previous one was
18,
bigger.
they got approval for a larger
Yeah,
accessory dwelling unit. I forget what it was a couple hundred.
yeah,
people.
really big, and now it's smaller.
Yeah. So this should not, this has been around a while. I don't see it as a problem. But I assumed that we would have a public hearing just in case the neighbors have issues. And
Yeah, you really need that.
I did not know that they had Board of Health approval because the plans say they will construct that, but if they've got the approval, that's what we need.
Yes, nothing has been constructed yet, but it has been submitted and approved by the Dutchess County Board of Health.
Okay, and can you provide us with those papers? Because we can't grant these permits unless you demonstrate that you meet Board of Health standards. So actually, it's a nice question. Is it enough that we have Board of Health approval to construct a septic system of such and such a size? Or do we actually have to construct it before we sign off on it? I think the former is enough, but if the board wants to be stricter about it, it's fine with me.
I don't think we've done that in the past, where if the Board of Health says the system can be built,
Yeah, that falls back on the building department.
Yeah,
That
okay.
that would
That's
be-
enough then. That's enough.
kind of be onerous on the applicant.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm fine with it. I was looking at drawings that talk about a possible location and things like that. But if the Board of Health has signed off on it, and before the hearing, you provide us with, something from them, that should satisfy your obligations under this provision.
Okay, so why don't we set a public hearing? We've gone through this many times. And it has been approved. Unless anybody sees anything that's changed drastically, let's go ahead and set a public hearing and move on this.
I so move.
Okay. You got a date for
What are we doing with the secra?
say that again?
I thought you just said that we did secret in 18.
Yeah,
and we don't-
but you still have to agree whether you wanna skip that now.
I'm happy to skip it.
Paul?
Well,
Well,
you're,
didn't the plan change a little bit, or
all right, so let's
Oh,
do
no.
a secret.
why don't we
Fine.
just do it? You know,
Fine. I move we appoint ourselves lead agency for secret purposes and that we notify Dutchess County Planning and who else should we notify?
Fire
Highway
department.
Department,
Fire department.
yeah, fire, highway. I think that's enough.
Yep.
Okay, I make that motion also.
Okay. Second, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. All in favor? Art, aye.
Aye.
Listen,
Aye.
Jerry, aye.
Cat eye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, and then Arlene,
July 6th? July 6th.
July 6th.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Hopefully we can wrap everything up on July 6th then. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
Thank you very
so I-
much.
oh, well,
All right, Joe.
Do we need a motion for that?
Oh, yes, we do. Yeah.
I move that we
Motion to
set
hold
it for a public hearing on July 6th.
second,
Discussion. All in favor? Art, aye.
all right.
Jerry, aye.
Cat eye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, Joe, you're all set. Get us that information and then we can roll ahead on this.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good
Okay,
night.
next item on the agenda is the Wolpe, is that the pronunciation?
That's right.
That's right, am I right?
Yep, that's right. You got it right.
Okay, Airbnb on Kansas Road, and you are,
I'm Catherine Wolpe. I own the house at 150 Kansas Road.
okay. You want to just briefly explain to us what's going on and then we can move ahead?
Sure. Yeah, similar to Tom, I'm just hoping to rent the property probably less than half the year to help offset some of the costs. I'll probably have to be in New York starting from September, a few days a week for my job once the office reopens. So hoping to rent it out part of the time I'm not at the house just to offset costs.
Okay. Okay, Jerry?
Yeah, she's put in an application and it's been approved by the zoning officer. I had a couple of questions. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. It received a inspection report from April for the sewage disposal system, stating that it's adequately functioning. The question has to do with the number of occupants. In one part of the application, it stated 6 occupants, another place stated to be determined. Again, it's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1,000-gallon septic.
Yeah, I think the to be determined was because I had read that that was up to the discretion of the board. So it's obviously whatever you guys deem appropriate is good by me.
Okay, I'm not sure if we've established any guidelines within the board for occupancy based on bedrooms and bathrooms and septic.
I know the family that lived there prior to me had 5 occupants living there full time. I have had guests stay with me up to 4 guests at a time. So I've had up to 5 people without any issue. If that's any help as you guys are deciding.
Do we have any comments for the board on that? We just did one with 2 bedrooms, 1,000-gallon tank.
We said 4.
Said 4 and up to 4 guests. for daytime guests. I think-
Yeah, I think for, that property was essentially on the lake shore, right? With, within 100, the seepage, but 100 feet away from a wetland. I think that's a consideration for the previous one. So I think we, at least from my perspective, this one doesn't have any, what's the district here?
AR5A.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
At least
Arlene,
that was
sorry.
consideration for the previous one, just to,
Well,
So based on their experience with 5 occupants, given it has a 1,000-gallon tank, should we tie it down as 5 guests
Maximum of
and
4.
We
5
don't,
occupants as guests and then 5 visitors maximum?
yeah, we can, or we can, because we still have to do we still have to do a hearing and stuff, so we
Yeah.
could think about it. And then, is there a C of O, Arlene, and for this? That it has the official number of bedrooms by any chance?
I don't remember. I think it predates the zoning.
Okay,
I think the house is old, so I don't have a CO.
The 1910 house.
What is
okay.
it?
1910.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was just
It doesn't
curious
have
if there's
CO.
some,
How many bedrooms? 2 bedrooms?
Yeah.
2 bed.
2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
I mean, I think we should try to be consistent based on size, but I'm happy to talk about it next time.
okay, well, we have to set a public hearing. I think anywhere from 4 to 5 is probably fine, but that's up to the board.
Okay, make a motion to set a public hearing for July 6th.
Okay,
second,
discussion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
all right.
Art, aye, okay.
We also are, we still need a short form EAF.
I sent it to you. Did you get it? Jerry, I sent it to you.
Okay. I haven't received it yet. If you have, then we can
Yeah.
complete part 2 on the 6th.
No, the part 2, we have to do that on next meeting. Do we,
That's what I
you
just
want to do
said.
it now? Before the public hearing?
We do it,
We don't have to do it, because we're gonna
Yeah.
do type 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Do a yeah.
We're not gonna do anything with it, but we decided we were gonna collect them, but
Yeah.
we'll review them, but we're not gonna go through the checklist.
Yeah, unless there's something that really outstanding. I don't think we need to go through seeker on every one of these unless there's something particular that stands out. Like a
okay, should we
wetland.
circulate? Do we need to circulate this to Dutchess County Planning
You do, yeah.
Yep,
and West Clinton Fire?
yep. Okay,
I think that covers everything so that we should be able to complete this application on July 6th.
okay. Do we have, did we do all the motions? I
For the
lost
lead
track here.
agency, we need one.
What's that?
For the lead agency, we need a motion.
No, we're not doing that.
We
I
don't
thought
do
he
lead
said-
agency.
I thought he said something about West Clinton and DC planning.
Yeah, the planning is not seeker, it's the 239 referral that they
All right,
want.
so what about the West Clinton?
Well, that's just, can you just send them a courtesy copy so they know what it, I mean, it doesn't have to be seeker. Can you
I
just send them
know,
a copy?
I mean, the problem is, they normally ask me, what do we want? What do they do with it? What do you need from them?
It's just so they know that.
Informational purposes, they're aware that there's a
Exactly.
All right,
short-term rental property at that location.
Right. I think that's sufficient. Okay. All right. We got all the motions done here.
Was
Yeah.
the motion approved for the public hearing?
yeah, seconded by Paul, we're good.
Okay.
Okay, so we're all set.
Catherine,
Catherine,
we'll see you on July 6th.
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the Verizon cell tower.
I don't have an
special-
applicant, we're doing internal discussion just to extend, Justin will do it. There's a letter
Yeah,
from.
it's the letter, right? We had 90 days that we were supposed to respond. That expires in July. They offered to extend it by a month. We should just take it.
Never turn down an extension.
Yeah.
Must have cost you something.
40 years of practicing law taught me that.
It's always worth it.
So we're gonna extend the time,
Yeah.
okay? And have we, I kind of lost track of this, but have we contracted
Yes,
with our expert?
Yeah.
We retained an expert. The board voted to retain the expert.
Right.
And the open question that we had, Arlene, was a legal question as to whether we should be charging the renewal fees that they've skipped for the last 10 years as a
Yeah.
condition. Can we charge them for that?
the town attorney, they're discussing that issue. So the town attorney, the other lawyer, the town consultant, the FC, Ronald, they're all discussing this. So they're working behind the doors. Or
Okay, so we just need to, do we need to vote to sign the letter or can Art just sign it? What do we
Yes.
need?
I just asked Shane was asking whether 30 days is going to be enough.
yeah, that's a good
Is that something we're worried about? Because it takes you into August when maybe there won't be, might be a quorum issue or something. I'm just a little.
There's also a question whether when did the clock start ticking?
When did the clock start? Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From the time they that you formally accepted the application. So there was like a question from me whether that does it mean putting it on the agenda? Does it mean you formally accepted it? So there's all those fine line questions. So
the clock might not even be running now because I don't
Yes.
think we ever accepted the application.
No, it's when they applied. It's not when we accepted, it's when they apply. Because the law says even if the application is incomplete, it's the date of the filing. And then we have to push back and say it's not complete to try to toll the time.
So
So-
the clock starts when they
So,
apply, even though it's incomplete.
Yes.
Man.
We're gonna run out of time then unless we get an extension. And is our expert gonna get information to us before July 15th?
No,
August.
no, July,
I'll
right
send
now
them
it's
my
July
date.
2nd, right? Justin?
Are they saying, does the law say it has to be complete, the permit has to be issued by
Yeah.
August 15th? So is that possible, given that we would have to have
No.
a hearing and, yeah, okay.
It says that we have to like consider it within 90 days. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
say what we actually have to do.
Okay.
It's vague, right? And what's the penalty for not doing it, right? There's no penalty.
Yeah, it's been like 8 years, right? Or 10 years.
So, well, I mean, but what's the penalty for us not reviewing in 90 days, right? There's also no penalty for that. So I think we're just trying to get along. I think we agreed to the 30 days. We ask our expert to make best efforts. This is an existing site. It's an existing silo. It shouldn't be that hard. I'd say sign the letter to August 15th. And if we need to revisit in a month or two, we revisit. Verizon's still going to be there. We're still going to be here.
Why don't we ask for a longer extension if they have to debate all these fees they haven't paid for years and years and years, right? I mean, they have a lot to discuss. Maybe they can give us 45 days. I mean, they're offering to ask for 60. I mean, do
Can they grant another extension, Justin? Is it another
Sure.
30 days,
Sure.
another extension? Right now, that's what they agreed to do.
Yes.
Fine.
Fine.
Why don't we do that?
For August 15th and say, we're going to use best efforts to get it by August 15th. And if we're unable to do that, we're going to reach back out and ask for another extension. But let's try to get this done. I mean, there's no reason to drag it on.
Yeah, I agree with you, Justin. And I think that's logical. And Arlene, if you let me know where the lawyers stand on this, because I will talk to them and get them to move on this, because they'll drag this out for a while, and I don't want
No, they know the timeline. They're already discussing it.
All right.
Shay and Ron have
Gotcha.
all the application. Right
yes.
now, Ron is on vacation, but he knows the clock is ticking.
Okay, all right. Okay, so do we need, Justin, do we need a motion for that extent?
I move that we sign the letter to agree to a 30-day extension with a note that if we need additional time, we will go back and talk to Verizon.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all those in favor, Art, aye.
Justin, aye.
Oh, aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
aye.
Okay, so moved. Okay, next item on the agenda is DeMello and Clark, special permit for the stone garage. Jack, you're on again. Oh my God.
This week.
Boy, oh boy.
It just can't get rid of him.
Well, this is my list of all-time hits. These guys have been around.
All right. Is anybody here for DeMello and Clark?
I'm here. It's Darren Davidovich from the Arta Building.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's
You're
everyone?
back again.
I sure am.
Okay.
Could walk you through it a little bit, or?
Yeah, just review it briefly. We're pretty familiar with it, but.
Certainly. 13 Mountain View Road, 10.41 acres at this point. It was formerly two separate parcels, and we recently combined them together so that we would meet the minimum acreage requirement for a detached accessory dwelling. We are in the RC5, I'm sorry, the AR5 zone. And the parcel is located at the far western end of Mountain View Road. And our proposal is pretty simple. We're proposing to convert the stone garage on the property, which was built according to parcel access around 1965. We'd like to convert that to a one-bedroom detached accessory dwelling. It would basically be 530 feet on the first floor, 530 square feet. That's the footprint of the building. And then a small loft of about 80 square feet. So all in all, 610 square feet of habitable area inside the building. And as far as we can tell, we meet all bulk requirements, setback requirements, and we are more than 100 feet from the wetland, or the stream, I should say, that's on the property. So it doesn't seem to hit any issues in terms of bulk requirements.
Okay. Jack?
Couple of questions, just as with the Mahoney property. Where do you stand with the Board of Health?
In process, probably about 2 to 3 weeks away from an approval there. I think the big thing they're looking for is some sort of resolution from the planning board. The county seems to want an approval before they issue their permits these days, which I still haven't figured out. It's a little bit chicken or the egg, because I know they require a stand form in order to issue a building permit. So, you know, as far as technical review, we seem to be down to 2 or 3 comments and just expecting an approval any moment, depending on how they look at the needing of a municipal resolution to issue it finally.
Okay, because in terms of the chicken and the egg, we can't sign off unless there's Board of Health approval or, you demonstrate, someone demonstrates to us that it meets the Board of Health standards.
I think we could certainly
Yeah,
get
who
that by
asked
the time of
that?
the resolution, unless it was a
Darren.
condition. Yeah,
Who asked that? Is that Kelly? Kelly
At the
Michelle? Who
county?
asked it from the Department of Health?
I don't know.
That's the
We're
first time I
using Jordan
heard that.
Baldina from Synergy Design. I forget who the county engineer is on it.
Yes, I never
It's
heard
not
that.
Kelly. Give me another name. I want to say Joe Mitchell, but Joe Mitchell's not the guy.
Because normally, I never heard it, because what happened is once, if you get an approval, then we do the SEM 34, and that's the time that they check on that to make sure that it's okay, but we never really.
Yeah, it's the first time this is the second time actually we've been asked for that they want to see some sort of planning board action before they'll actually issue it. But we'll continue to work it in the next couple of weeks. It's literally that close. So, if it was a condition of approval or something too, I think we could certainly live with that.
Yeah, it's your burden to prove it to us. That's the terms of of the zoning code here, and we're stuck with it. The other question I've got is, I'm confused about the size. You said it was 530 interior feet, but the dimensions on the plan show the exteriors are like, it's 31.9 by 27.10. So that would be like 770 square feet. So how did it go from that external dimension to only 530 feet on the inside? I know it has thick walls, but
Yeah, they're 2 feet thick plus. They're real stone walls. But you're looking at our plan or just the?
I'm looking at your A102 drawing.
Yeah. No, that's right. I mean, you can see how thick the walls are on there.
Yeah, they show, I just measured it, like 1.25 inches. So that's about no, it shows 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, a little bit. So it's about a foot thick, as I understand it. But there's no interior dimensions provided here, and there's no interior dimension provided for the loft that I could see.
I can get you a drawing, for next meeting that gives you interior dimensions. They're on there. You would just have to add them up. So it might just be a miss on the drafting side where there's no.
Not very good at mechanical drawing in the 7th grade, and I've not improved since. So if you can do that for us for the next
Sure.
meeting.
Yeah, no problem.
So I move that we set this down for a public hearing. Is July the 6th realistic, Darren, or should we make it the next meeting after that?
I mean, I'd love to put it on for the 6th, and if the septic proves to be something that's not in hand by them, we could, could adjourn it if it's okay with the board.
It's all right with me to do that. So I move that we set it down for a public hearing on July 6th. And I further move that we appoint ourselves lead agency for secret purposes with copies to Dutchess County Planning and the Fire Department and I guess the Highway Department.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all those in favor, Art, aye?
Yak, aye.
Jerry, aye.
Boy.
Okay, so we got Jerry in there?
Yeah, Jerry, aye.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Okay, so moved. All right, so we'll have, hopefully Darren, you can get everything wrapped up with the Board of Health and we can get a public hearing on the 6th and move ahead on this, okay?
Sounds great. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay. Let's see, the only other thing on the agenda Arlene and I took care of.
Good.
You still have to do the resolution or the motion.
On what? What are you talking about?
About that letter that, that you're sending that. The one that you signed, the one that you gave me.
Oh,
The one
okay.
for the, it's just a motion, you don't have to read the letter. They have the copy.
Yeah,
Just a
okay.
motion that we're submitting it to, the Meadowland Protection something.
Okay, I move that the aforementioned letter to regarding Meadowland Farm development pressure to ag and markets be approved by the board.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Art, aye.
Jerry, aye.
Very good. Okay. And we have minutes.
No, I didn't get the chance. We have Dean.
Did you send those out? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't get the chance to do that.
Okay,
I'm busy.
all right. So we're,
Dean is here.
Dean is here.
Dean is here.
Dean is here. Okay, Dean, go for it.
So obviously, we approved the technical FAA or whatever frequency engineer. So that you already took care of tonight. And starting this Thursday is our zoning revision meetings are starting up again.
Okay,
So if you guys have any input for those topics, let me know.
okay. And Dean, when can we start having real people meetings?
Well, we're having a real people meeting now. So as of Thursday, our zoning revision meeting will be live.
People in person.
Yep.
So we can
I think you always could. The only limitation before today was that you had to have 3 feet, because they reduced it from 6 to 3. But as of today, Cuomo opened up everything. So I don't think there's any limitations anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, so the supervisor just sent out an email that the governor just recently, or I think effective today, just lifted that restriction and opening up. So, but they said that the town board is going to be discussing at the next town board meeting in July on how the town is going to reopen it. Did you see that email, Dean?
No, I didn't read the email this afternoon.
Yeah, that was like around 6:30 or 6 o'clock.
So in other words, we have to wait for the town board to say.
I don't know. I still have to talk to him. But my ZBA meeting next week is still Zoom because it's
Okay.
Well,
All
I
right.
think Ray personally can make the decision. He's the town executive, so he can make
Okay.
that call.
All right, can you kind of push that along unless the members of the board don't want to do it? Anybody chime in? I personally would rather have the meetings in person. They will go quicker.
Everybody's not talking at the same time. It's so chaotic when everybody is in the room and everybody's talking at the same time and doing their own discussions.
Yeah, and we've got dogs barking and all kinds of stuff going on. How does everybody feel about that?
I'm for doing it in person.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Jack.
I favor doing it in person. I miss you guys.
Okay.
Oh.
Jerry, how do you feel?
Go for it. I just played golf today and everything was wide open.
Okay.
Restaurant, office.
How do you feel, Justin?
Yeah, I'm fine to do whatever. I think, we had a library meeting on Monday and we were thinking that there was going to be some direction from the town to open up that we're just going to copy, but if that's not coming, then that's fine. And I'm happy to meet in person, but
okay,
if there is a direction that would be helpful.
Okay, Kat?
Fine with me.
Okay.
I wonder if, it allows people to dial in or be present easily if it is online. If there's an option in the future to be calling in or doing it both ways.
Yeah. Right, because sometimes the applicant are in the city or out of the country, which they cannot come personally, like
Well,
the one the applicants today.
To be perfectly honest with you, Arlene, that's their problem. Okay. It
That
really,
was always their problem before, so
you know, what we can't, well,
they've sent representatives, you know,
Yeah.
on their behalf.
so it's okay. See, anything else? Did anybody apply for the our vacancy here?
Oh, do I know of anybody? No, I
Yeah,
haven't heard
okay.
anything.
Well, if anybody has any recommendations or knows anybody who wants to get on the planning board for this very easy job, let me know. And
Sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get with the summer coming up and people on vacation and stuff. We're probably going to need to get another person pretty quickly. So, anybody have anything they would like to discuss?
Dean, the conference center that you guys just approved.
What
Dean,
about the
you
conference
want to
center?
discuss the conference center that the town board just approved? What's the difference between the conference center and the ag events and what happened with the Old Stone, the Sherry Khan Conference Center?
Yeah, so there is a unique difference in that ag events are based on smaller acreage, number one, but they have to comply with ag law 30 whatever 28A and whatever. Anyway, they have to comply with their being exempt by ag markets. And so the conference center actually has a higher threshold to be approved, but has differences in that it does allow for certain things that the ag event. So places like the Duchess had conflict as to which way they would go. There is a little bit more latitude if you do qualify as an ag event versus a conference center.
So, is that in writing now that we can look at?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It should be listed on our website, but you know, certainly I'm sure Arlene has it that she can circulate it.
Yeah, that would be good. Get everybody a copy of that so we can mull it over and we know what we're doing the next time somebody comes in.
Yeah, there was a couple of minor changes. So the final version was just sent out yesterday from Shane. So Carol will have it and is sending it up to Albany.
Okay, good.
Speaking of ag events, do we have a date for?
Not yet. They have to meet up with the town consultant. Not yet. They have to meet up with, oh, you mean for the
visit.
for the visit? Yeah, I sent her. She hasn't responded yet. I'll check with her. Yeah.
Thank you.
So Old Adrian's is the only one that's applied for an ag event law permit?
So far, I know there's another one coming, but
Okay.
they're still doing planning and stuff.
I mean, because I know we have two others in town, or three others really in town that should
Just
apply.
doing it right now that without, well, maybe because they want to see first how it goes.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Dean or would like to discuss anything? Okay. Well, considering.
Question, sorry. The
Go ahead.
Airbnb, we received one complaint that there's this one property who was multiple dwelling Airbnb. And then when we receive the application, it says hosted, but there's a lot of Airbnb in there. So I don't know. We're only allowed to do two dwellings, right? On a property?
An
Non-
owner is only allowed to have 2 dwelling units, yes.
And if the owner owns a lot of property in the town,
What difference
they
does
could
that
put
make?
under the name, what do you call this?
That was basically designed so that some corporate developer can't come in and buy up a whole bunch of houses and have Airbnbs all over town.
How do we know if it's under the estate or something? How do we know who's the owner? We have to,
Well, they have to certify who's the owner.
yeah, but what triggers it? How do we know if, let's say, you own 9
No.
partners under this and you own the other person? That's what I'm saying, right? I mean, not unless somebody tick you off.
I mean, technically, I don't want to get into it so that people, because this is all public record, but there are certainly ways around everything.
If you know something, but if nobody said anything, we're not gonna know.
Well, just like you have to get authorization to come and represent at the board, if you're applying as a corporation, how do we know? So you have to have a letter from the secretary of the corporation saying that you are a representative or you're an owner or whatever.
Okay. Okay, anybody else? Well, considering,
We should,
yeah,
we need to come up with some guidelines as far as the level of occupancy for these short-term rentals. I went and got the details for the one we just reviewed that I had. It's 7/10 of an acre, 1,115 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
So you're looking for guidance as to,
I thought
Well,
it was guidance that it's 2 adults per
I think
bedroom.
we need to establish some sort of standards as far as occupancy level. The person came in requesting occupancy of 6. 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms.
yeah, unfortunately, the Board of Health, and see, the septic tank is only one part of the whole equation. So you could have updated your septic tank because prior one failed, and you could have oversized for what was originally there. So you could have gone from 800 or 900 or 1,000 and bumped it up, 1 notch. But that doesn't mean that the fields themselves are adequate
right.
to handle the overflow. And so, just because you have 1,000-gallon tank doesn't mean that the fields themselves were also adequate for the number of people that you're stating. So I almost think that you need the Board of Health to really chime in on everything that's existing.
Well, but we have old houses that they don't have, there's no, they never filed with the
I
Board of
mean,
Health.
I've owned several old houses that didn't even have fields. They had,
Yeah,
you know,
because it's old, exactly.
yeah, cesspools, and so that just doesn't kick it.
But I mean, the law doesn't require that it meet Board of Health standards. Just
No,
so
I
you-
understand, but that would be a gauge to say, what the house can handle. Typically, I think when they come up a septic design, they're basing it on the number of bedrooms, and they're anticipating 2 people per bedroom as really a maximum. So to say a 2-bedroom house is going to handle 6 people, I don't think a septic system was ever designed for that on an ongoing basis. I mean, you could always have guests come over, I
So if we
guess.
use the guideline that's for 2 persons per bedroom as a guideline for establishing the number of occupants, is that appropriate?
I think so.
I think it should be two adults per bedroom, assuming that the septic is sufficient for that number of bedrooms.
Right. And that's originally what we talked about, because I mean, they could have a kid or something like that, but 2 adults per bedroom.
I mean, it'd be really helpful to have the C of O for these houses.
Well, it's a 1910 house, so that's a
It
little,
it has to, there's gonna be something, right?
Yeah, but older house doesn't have CL, like 1860, 1850.
Okay, but, okay, fine, this one doesn't, but if there is one, we just should, that's one thing we
Okay,
can have.
that's why I give you the one for this one, 2-bedroom. Remember where he was advertising it as a 3-bedroom, but the
Okay.
CFO is 2 bedrooms.
All I'm saying, our house is 1840, we have a C of O for 2-bedroom, I mean, but
Yeah.
anyway. If there's no C of O, fine, but if there is one, can we just have it?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, I always give it to you when there is.
Anything, anything else? Anybody got anything else? Well, considering.
Can I just have I have a question on this.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. This like DeMello and Clark, it just keeps on coming back.
Oh,
Should we go off the
tell me about
record? Should we go off the record, guys, or?
Yeah,
yeah, we're,
yeah.
Yeah,
Adjourn
you gotta
adjourn the
adjourn
meeting, but
before-
stay here.
Let's adjourn.
yeah, you have to adjourn before.
I
we
make a
can-
motion to adjourn.
Have
Second.
a second discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hard eye. Okay.